Today in Aparoksh Anubhuti, we will take Shlok 78. Okay, those of you who have the book can chant along. Chakshubhyam brahmashilabhyam sarvam bhati brahmatmakam tadvadatmani dehatvam pashyatya jnana yogataha. Translation first. To a person who has defective eyes, everything that he sees appears to be defective. So too does a person, on account of his spiritual ignorance, perceive the Atma as the body. As you know, in Vedanta, all the teachings are geared up to make you and me and everyone else in the world understand and recognize their true identity. We are under the influence of what Bhagavan calls spiritual ignorance, where we do not see our own selves in our true light, and also we do not see the world as it truly is. And it's natural, because the truth that we are trying to reach is so intangible, it is so subtle, and it is not at all understandable by the normal human mind and the human intellect. And we've also got into the habit of seeing ourselves as human beings, of seeing the world as it is, with all the objects made of Panchbhut. Now someone comes along and tells us, no, what you're seeing, what you're thinking is not at all the correct thought. You are not a human being, you're a spiritual being, and the world is an illusion. So obviously, this is a very difficult thing to swallow, to understand. And so the rishis and the great masters like Bhagwan Adi Shankaracharya uses very day-to-day, mundane kind of objects, and to give us examples of how our perception of the world and our perception of ourselves is defective. So you must definitely have seen small children playing with their dolls. Why small children? We ourselves, when we were small and when we were growing up, we also played with our dolls as if they were real beings. We fed them, we clothed them, we spoke to them, we sang to them, we made them go to sleep, we woke them up, we bathed them as if they were real babies, as if they were real people. And at that time, our buddhi our intellect was not mature enough to understand that that doll is just a toy and not a real human being, though we treated her as a real human being. In the same way, even today, as adults, our buddhi, our intellect is not mature enough to be able to understand that what we think we are and what we think the world is completely erroneous, and it is based on our ignorance of these matters. Spiritual ignorance is what Bhagavan calls it. Spiritual ignorance is basically just the inability to recognize our true nature and to recognize the true nature of the world. That is all. Now, Bhagavan has given this almost like an illness. The name of the illness or the dis-ease he gave is defective eyes. Defective eyes. When you have a defect in your foot, you can't walk properly. When you have a defect in your tongue, you can't speak properly. Here, the defective eyes means that there is a defect in the way we are perceiving ourselves and the way we are perceiving the world. The organ is not defective, but our vision how the way we perceive the reality is defective. So when we were small, we used to go to the mela, the fair, and we used to buy all kinds of, little gimmicky things. And one of those gimmicky things was, the toy glasses, which had red glasses or green glasses, and we used to wear those. And when we put on red glasses, the whole world looked red. When we put on green glasses, the whole world looked green. So we see the world, we see things, we perceive things depending on the condition of our eyes. So taking this as an understanding, as an assumption, Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya in the next few shlokas, going on from 78 onwards, gives us some very, very tangible examples that we can identify with to prove to us almost that what we see is not the reality at all. So the first example is of sparklers. In Diwali time, we light the sparklers and we play and we make big circles with them. And when we move our arm like this round and round, we create a circle of light. Does that circle of light actually exist? No, it's an illusion made by the movement of our arm with the sparkler in it. So in the same way, because our mind has got a continuous flow, a continuous movement of thoughts, feelings, emotions, and desires, notions, concepts. It's a continuous movement, just like the movement of the arm. Because of that, we perceive and think about the world and ourselves as differently. What is still consciousness appears to be the moving world around us. So that's the first example he gives. Just like that, as the sparkler, our mind also is continuously looking at the moving world. Another example that Bhagwan gives is that of a mountain. When we see a mountain at a distance, it looks pretty small, right? I remember when we went to our yatra in Kailash, and we saw Mount Kailash from a really far away distance. It looked like just one tiny little mountain. But if at all we were to go close to it, we would obviously realize that it was not a small little mountain at all. It was gigantic. It was huge. So how come it appeared so small and it was actually so big? That is the law of nature working in the realm of time and space. There's a law of nature. That's it. That when you see something from a distance, it looks small. When you go near it, it shows its actual size, which is big. Because of time and space, this is the law of nature. Similarly, when we, in our meditation, will transcend the realms of time and space, we will be able to see the world without these laws coming into work. We will be able to see our nature intimately. We will be able to see our nature up close as it truly is. And we will experience our nature directly, not through the realm of time, not through the realm of space, as it is. And we will see that it is not a small, little, limited body, mind, and intellect equipment. No, that's not who we are. Who we truly are is this vast, universal energy. And that's another trick that the mind is playing on us. And along with that trick in the mind of the mountain, the mind also plays a trick on thinking we are small and limited. One more example Bhagwan gives us is that of the microscope. Now, when you see an object under the microscope enlarges it, makes it, magnifies a tiny little cell becomes magnified at least 10 times, and if it's a powerful magnifying glass, much, much more. So something that is so tiny can appear to us 10 times, 100 times its size when we look at it through the microscope. In the same way, the Atma is not perceivable by the human eye, but it is perceivable through the microscopic eye of the clean intellect. And when it sees the Atma through that clean intellect, through the microscopic clean intellect, we call it Aparoksh Anubhuti. And in that, this small little self who we consider us to be gets enlarged, magnified, and it reveals itself as the substratum, all-pervasive, infinite Atma. So what the point is that whatever we are seeing, whatever we are used to seeing, whatever we have the habit of seeing, does not necessarily mean that it is exactly the way that it is being seen. You are seeing it, so that's a reality, but it is not as you are seeing it at all. Like this, over the last so many weeks, we have seen so many examples of a rope which is not apprehended, which is not recognized, non-apprehension of rope, which leads to the misapprehension of a snake. When we cannot see the rope, we see the snake. Another example Bhagwan gives is that sometimes we see a sheet of glass, and because of the light, it looks like a surface of water. Or we see water and it looks like glass. So all these are different tricks because of the mal, because of the vikshep which is there in our mind. We are covered by what they call the veil of ignorance, that is our own avguns, and we do not see reality as it is. Sometimes Bhagwan says that when you are driving down and you see a light in the distance, and sometimes the light, I have experienced that myself. Sometimes when I'm driving home on the freeway from our Chembur center, it's almost sunset time, and we see the rays of the sun being reflected in the window panes of the high-rise buildings. And many a times I have been fooled into thinking that there is a fire going on over there, because what appears to be like a fire to the naked eye is just actually the window panes catching a little reflection of the sun. Sometimes in a dark jungle also, you might see the light in the distance of little fireflies, and you might think that there are some jewels there. So, because our intellect has not been trained, has not been purified as yet, it is unable to see the truth that is given in the Vedas. And the whole spiritual journey is all about training the intellect, purifying the intellect so that it sees things correctly and not sees things as it has always been used to seeing. And one more example Bhagwan gives is that sometimes when you see the moon in a river, it appears as if it is dancing on the top of the river surface. The moon is not dancing. What is dancing are the waves, the water. And because the water is moving so much, it appears as if the moon is dancing in the water. The movement of the water is creating an illusion. In the same way, the movement of thoughts and feelings and emotions, everything that is continuously going on, causing agitation, vikshep, in our antakaran, is the cause of us not being able to see reality as it truly is. So when all these disturbances, all the mal, all the vikshep, all that has been silenced, made steady, made to rest, you and I will be able to see ourselves as true non-doing witnesses, the Atma, the substratum of all reality. That is our journey. A few of these examples, while contemplating on them, might help you to be able to accept the reality that what you see is not actually what is. More on this later, but let me make a little announcement. Since we will be going in next week to our Upanishad workshop, which is going to be in person at the center in Chembur, we will be taking a little break from Aparoksh Anubhuti, and the next one, session on Aparoksh Anubhuti, next will happen on the Thursday after the workshop, which will probably be on the 8th of December. But the Bhagavad Gita chanting will go on till the 24th. And once the workshop starts, then also the evening chanting will take a little break because we will be at the center till the evening. So till then, to attend, we will be here till the 24th. Okay? Let's end with the prayer. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityarma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Guru Pyo Namaha Hari Om Chidarpanam Jai Gurudev. Thank you so much, Gauri, for chanting.